Oh man, feeling a bit like Alice tumbling down the rabbit hole about now on this project. Looks like I'm going to have to remove the gauge cluster, remove the gas tank, just to get those wires down in there. Oh, hey guys, what's going on? Maybe you were wondering if I ever finished up this project or if my bike just stayed in pieces for life, but we're getting there. I had to quit last night because I got frustrated when I found out that I was not going to be able to mount my handlebars, and the video cut out right at the last minute. It was a whole series of frustrating events happened. And basically what I found out was I'm not going to be able to run the wires on the outside of the bars, at least not without doing some sort of modifications like drilling holes or knocking dimples in these things, because the new handlebars don't have the dimple relief underneath them like the old bars did. So I don't know if you guys will be able to see that from there or not, but there are some dimples down here. I'll bring it over to you. It's like a relief so that wire could fit underneath there and, you know, clearance the brake caliper and the clutch, whatever you'd call it, the perch that it sits on there, right? So I can't put the wires in, thus I can't put this part on because it won't work. So I've got it mocked up right now. Nothing is really permanently attached. I was just wanting to see how the clutch cable and all that, which way I was going to route it. I'm still trying to sort that out. I don't know if I'm going to go between here and come up on the outside in the front, or come through the fork right here maybe. I'm going to have to try it a couple of different ways because I don't like how tight it is right here. It's really pushed up against the frame and pushing that way. So anyway, I've got the old buckhorns off and I'm happy about that. They're super solid. I've got them mounted on there. The bars are permanently mounted now. Not to say that I could take them off if I had to, but what I discovered last night is I'm going to have to run the large wire harness right there through the bar, through this little section of the bar. So what that means is I have to loosen the tank up. I might have to take it all the way off. I think I will. So I'm going to have to cut into that fuel line down there. And yeah, it's got the factory clamps on both sides. So, I mean, heck, this might be the first time this tank's ever been off. That would be kind of surprising, but I'm going to go ahead and take the tank off, I guess, or at least get it in a position where I can move it out of the way and unplug the wires that are underneath there. And I don't know if I'm going to have to unpin them or not. I may have to. These holes are pretty generous. They're pretty good size, so I'm thinking as long as it'll make it around that turn, a pretty large plug should fit through there. So hopefully I won't have to unpin them. That will make it a lot faster. But it will add to the overall appearance of the bike. It'll be a lot cleaner without those wires. So even though I'm kind of being forced to do it and I don't want to do it, I think in the end I'll be happier as a result of it. But anyway, guys, yeah, it's been a little bit frustrating, but I kind of said that about how you end up going down the rabbit hole. That's what I was talking about. You do any kind of modification, get ready. You're probably going to do a lot more stuff than you originally thought you would have to do. And this proves my point once again. And you know, I watch so many videos on YouTube, just a little mini rant here, okay? Because I've seen so many of these guys and I can tell what they're doing now that I've tried to film one myself. And again, I'm not perfect because I don't do this every day. This is my first Harley Davidson handlebar change I've ever done. First time I've ever used this type of T-bar and all this stuff. And first time I've ever thought about running wiring inside handlebars, because on Japanese, you know, dirt bikes and stuff like that, it doesn't matter. But anyway, I watched tons of videos on handlebars, and I tried to find some on my specific year with a non-fuel injected. This is the last of the carbureted bikes, which is one of the reasons I bought it. I'm not a big fan of computers on vehicles and stuff, and this thing, as far as that goes, other than ignition, it has very little modern electronics on it. It's pretty basic, and I like that because I can work on that sort of stuff. But anyway, most of the YouTube videos are all about putting handlebars on the new style bikes with throttle by wire, which is, wireless, whatever they call it. The new style, apparently there are no cables. See, I don't know because I don't have that, and I don't want to work on that style. I want to work on this style, which is the older style. Everything's mechanical still for the most part, except for maybe the ignition. But anyway, it's quite frustrating when you watch these videos and you see them and they're like 8 minutes or 10 minutes long, and these guys make it look like it's the easiest thing in the world. So what I'm actually doing here, you know, it probably will hurt my viewership overall on the channel, because these kinds of videos, these long form videos where I'm telling you what I'm thinking and as I'm going through them, they take a lot longer to edit and they're a lot longer final production. The first edit I did last night was an hour long, and I don't know if people are going to want to watch an hour-long video about changing their handlebars that actually shows you some of the difficulties that you're going to see as you change your handlebars. But some people will appreciate that. So this one is for those kinds of people like me that want to actually see all of it, not just the, you know, the super cuts that make it look like you can swap handlebars on in 5 seconds. You know, maybe I'll put a super cut here later in the video where it's just like, yeah, look here, do this, do that, do this, and then you just do it and it's done. The next clip, you know, you guys have seen them, and apparently a lot of people like that, and I get it. That gives you the basic idea, but there's times, you know, you need to learn the whole technique before jumping in, or otherwise you're going to find yourself in a situation you weren't prepared for. So I'm going to get you guys pulled in here. We're going to remove the seat. We're going to remove the tank. Now, I don't have a factory seat, so it's going to be a little different than what you guys may experience, but I don't think we're going to have much problem. I don't know how much fuel I've got in there, but probably more than I would have liked. I'm probably going to have to either drain it or find a couple of plugs where I can plug it and cap it off enough to where I'm not spilling fuel all over my engine, but we'll get there. And one of my favorite quotes of all time is an old Winston Churchill quote. During World War II, he was like, you know, trying to rally the troops and stuff. And it was probably during some really hard times, because World War II, there were lots of really hard times and battles and things. And, you know, he told the people, never give up, never give in, no matter what, keep going. And if you're going through hell, keep going. Now, I kind of messed it up there, but you get the basic premise of it. Don't give up. You'll get there. Okay, so now that we have all the wires removed from the gauge cluster and that's disconnected, there were no surprises there. They were all plugs. I didn't have to take any screws out. It's just the ignition plug. One of those is the gauge cluster, and one of those is just another plug that connects to another part of the harness that goes on into the cluster. I did have to unscrew the trip odometer thing here so that I could, you know, remove the dash completely and get it out of my way for safekeeping, put it somewhere safe. But next up here on the agenda, we're going to have to remove some of these, what I call Oetiker clamps. I used to work in the beverage industry years ago, and I even ran my own business for a while, doing repairs on beverage machines, like fountain machines out in convenience stores and restaurants and such. And we used clamps just like these. We called them Oetiker clamps because that was the manufacturer that made them. I'm not sure what the correct name is, but that's what we called them. And they're not, I mean, they're intimidating if you don't know what to do, but they're really not that big of a deal if you have the right tool. You're going to need some sort of a side cutters, like maybe some dikes or something. The proper tool is called Off Pliers, but I don't expect you're going to have those. But I happen to have them. I'm going to show you here in a minute how we're going to cut that off, because we're going to have to take that hose loose that goes over to the carburetor, because this bike has a petcock on it. So I guess the fuel injected bikes, there's some sort of a quick release thing there, and your mileage may vary if you're fuel injected. On this year, 2003, it was I believe the last year, or one of the last years of the full carbureted motorcycles. But when they were switching over to transitioning to fuel injected. Okay, so you can see I've got that bolt completely removed underneath the tank, and we'll get a little bit more light there. A lot more light apparently. What we're going to have to go after is this crossover line. This just connects one side of the tank to the other so that neither side gets too full or too low or whatever. And there's another Oetiker style clamp right there. We're going to have to cut that off. I'm going to try to see if I can find some like 1/4 inch plugs and some sort of a cap that I can put on this other fitting. That way when I do disconnect this line, I can plug it and cap that side quickly because fuel will probably spill, and I want to have a couple of rags underneath there to help soak that up. And you know, probably not the best time to light up your cigarettes or your, you know, left-handed cigarettes, right-handed, whatever, you know, whatever you're into, might not be a good time to be doing that if you're going to work on your Harley, because there is going to be fuel and you could go kaboom. So I'm going to go grab my tools and I'm going to go get some more tools out, because apparently I'm going to have to empty my toolbox to work on this, to do this job. So just be warned, you better have a lot of tools and a lot of experience. Okay, so one of the best ways I can show you how to take those clamps off, because once I stick my hand in there I'm going to be in your way, is to use one of these as a demonstration. So there's a couple of ways to go about it. Probably the best way is, if you see this one right here, it has a little bit of a lip right there. So I'm going to attempt to manipulate that lip to my advantage, and hopefully you guys will be able to see what I'm doing. I'm going to try to get underneath that lip, and you can, once you're underneath it a little bit like that, you can just peel it back. If I can stay in the frame here, you can just peel it, and oftentimes if you pull a little bit, you can make it kind of unwrap as it goes. And then you're free. Okay? But that's only if you can access that one side. If you can't access that one side, like that lip right there, if you can't find that lip and you can only reach it from the front, like this, then what you want to do is, I like to go, I want to go on the side that has the notches in it, the squares in it, and I take my auditor pliers like this, and there's a face on them like that has a cutter right there on the end. It's also what you clamp them with, or crimp them with, like this. When you put a new one on, you crimp it like that, right? Okay, so what I do is I get right here in this open area where there's a little bit of a hollow area right there with the cutters, and try to get as low as I can, close to the bottom as I can, and then just squeeze, and we're free. Same thing, you can kind of pull on it and pull it off of there, and Bob's your uncle. It's that easy. All right, I had to take a little break and kind of work up my nerve to do this, but here we go. I'm going to try to do this without destroying my fuel line or being in your way of the shot here. Let's see, it's on that side. I'm not going to be able to pry it off from the side. I'm going to have to go right across the front of the ears. Sometimes these clamps are made of aluminum versus stainless steel, but this one feels like stainless. So we passed the moment of truth now. There ain't nothing left to do but keep moving forward. So for now, until I have it free, I'm just going to push that clamp out of the way, and I should be able to disconnect this fuel line, and I'm going to have fuel squirting out of both sides of it. So I'm going to have to be ready to plug and cap both sides of this thing. Oh God, wish me luck, guys. Okay. How hard is it going to be to move the line? Actually, you know what I just thought of? I do have something that might help me on this. I've got a set of pinch-off pliers, is what we called them in the beverage industry. Let me see if I can find those real quick, like. All right, this is what we called pinch off pliers or pinch off pliers. They're made by Vice Grip, but you can see they don't have the traditional Vice Grip gnarls and nubs. They're smooth. They're made for pinching off hoses so that you don't damage them. So I'm going to use those on the fuel line right here. I'm going to attempt to, but I want to make sure that I don't overdo it, because you can actually hurt things if you overdo it. And also you want to make sure you're well clear of the fitting, because you don't want to bend the end of the fitting either. That would be a bad idea. So let's see if we can get these in here. You're just going to feel it a little. And I'd like to be in a position where I could use the pliers to pull the line off if possible. I don't know if I'm going to be able to use them. I don't know if I can use them there, because they're so big that I'm worried that I'm going to be jammed in a corner here and I won't be able to move the fuel line if I put them on. And I don't want to get too close to the fitting, because I could pinch the end of the fuel tank fitting, and that would be a bad deal. So I think the best thing to do is we'll just put a rag down and we'll try to go fast. Hopefully I can pull it loose and plug one side with a finger and the other side with a thumb or something, and maybe that'll work. I don't know. Depends how much fuel and how fast, I guess. Just trying to push this line where I don't damage it. But if I have to go buy fuel line, it's not the end of the world. Of course, it's getting more and more expensive, like Loctite. Oh, see, I don't want to push real hard and then have all of a sudden it just gushes everywhere. Come on off of there. I need something to kind of push on it with. Like maybe this blunt screwdriver might help me. Just trying to get it to slowly break loose. I'm already getting dripping. Okay, we're close. Okay, it's moving. I'm gonna have the 1/4-inch plug ready. Hopefully that'll stop the flow on the one side. Ideally, you'd be out of gas and be better to do it with no fuel in the tank. Okay, maybe now I can get the pinch offs on that one side, because I know where the end of the fitting is. Okay, maybe that'll work. Okay. Now, which size is it gonna be? Maybe that one? I doubt it. Nope. Too big. Or the fitting's too big. Oh, shit. Okay, I got it. I don't know what size that was, but I just had an assortment of them over here. Okay, so let's see if we can, that's awfully loose in there. Let me try. Something like this. I'll put this over the plug. That'll take up some of the space. Just another one of these plug caps. Maybe we can shove that in there. Okay. Unclamp. Okay, guys. I think we got it. Okay, that was the clamp falling off. No big deal. Okay, I think that'll hold. That'll hold. Nothing seems to be dripping. Get all this fuel wiped up right quick. And go wash my hands right quick. Trying to stay off that chrome as much as possible. Okay. So that's loose enough that, ouch, I can probably push it back out of the way. Nah, let's just peel it off, it's in the way. Okay. I don't want to pull too hard on that. Why won't you go? Probably because I pulled the opposite side that I like to pull from. It'll be all right, we'll get it. I just have to hold some tension on that side. Okay. Got that clamp off, that's good. All right, so next up we're gonna attempt to wiggle this off. Okay. Oh man. I think this rubber has become like vulcanized to the fitting. I could cut it, but I mean, it'd make it a lot faster, but I don't want to have to replace it. I'd rather just reuse the fuel line. And see, it's moving there. There we go. I felt it give. Okay. We're finally there. Let's see if I can do this without too much mess. I'm thinking that one might actually be 1/4 inch, but it doesn't seem to matter because nothing's pouring out of it. So we'll just let that ride. And luckily my petcock seems to be working, so I don't even think I need to cap that. And I may go ahead and drain it once I get it off the bike here, just to make things a little easier for reinstallation. That one line there. Pull those to the side, I guess. Okay. Okay, what's going on with that return vent line thing? I don't know. Okay, so that was my mistake. I guess that rubber thing stays with the frame of the bike. I thought it was going to come off with the tank. And maybe it's supposed to, but it's not. Okay, give it up now. It's too late to turn back. We gotta. What the hell is this? Is that just a... Okay, I'm just going to unconnect that. I think it's just a vent hose, but it's not coming out. Okay, now what's hanging up? Probably that crossover tube. Is there something else connected? Y'all see something over there? What the hell is that? I don't know what either one of those things are. What the... Gotta get a close look at that. I don't know what that is. There's some kind of wire over there. What in the world is that? That's probably the fuel sending unit, I'm guessing. Okay. I thought all that stuff would have been disconnected up top, but no. And where does that go? Is that just a plug? I don't know. I do see a disconnect here for this fuel sending unit though, so that's good news. Just got to figure out how this damn little clip here works, so I can't see nothing. Okay, that means you guys can't see it either probably. You son of... What I'm talking about is right there. Okay, how do you open that thing? Okay, I think I see it. I think you squeeze in on this. Or does it pull out? Yes, out. Pull out, and then that opens up. Okay. Now I've got some slack, and I can disconnect that guy. Okay. Now. Oh, I know what that is. That's a vacuum line. That other one's a vacuum line back to the petcock. Okay. That makes me feel better because I was like, what in the world is this? An electrical line or what? And I didn't want to pull it off if it was going to be like something I wasn't supposed to pull off. Okay, so I think it's a vacuum. Okay. Can this hang right there? No, probably not. Maybe there. So I should be able, yes. Okay, I pulled that off. Okay. Now I think we're cooking with fire. Okay, so good idea to have a place to set your tank when you take it off. And I do. And hopefully it'll come right off now. Oh shit. Oh, it's spilling. My plug fell out, of course. And I don't even see where it went. There it is. Okay, yeah, I'm definitely going to be draining the fuel. Now, how can I grab that and hold the tank? Okay. Oh man, that sucks. I bumped it right on the end as I was going by. I got fuel everywhere. It's probably $2.50 worth of fuel right there on my floor. Money I'll never get back. Oh. Okay, that was a real pain. I'm sure putting it back on is going to be a lot like it, only in reverse. Okay. I don't know, man. Them buckhorn bars are starting to look pretty good. Maybe I could just put those back on. I don't know. Guess we'll find out if the juice is worth the squeeze on this deal when it's all said and done. Right now I want to clean gas off my paint so that it doesn't go bad on me. Right down the exhaust pipe, just polish those puppies up. So yeah, you're probably going to spill fuel all over the place. Count on that, having plenty of clean shop rags around. And taking plenty of breaks and taking your time with it. I think that's the best thing to do. I mean, I don't know.
Did you see the size of them chickens? Come on now. Look. Oh man, I think these gas fumes might be getting to me. Oh, poor Harley. Oh, you never had it so good though. Look at that.
You never got your dust cleaned under your skirt like that. Look at that. Oh, you're going to be so nice when we're done. Oh yeah, that needs polishing in there. I couldn't even get to that, so may have to start making this a routine where I pop my tank off like every 6 months and just check things out. I'm just kidding. Hopefully I do it once and I never have to do it again. Yeah, I really am breathing a lot of gas fumes, so who knows what might happen. Okay, so we got to figure out which one of them dudes goes to that dude there. This big thing here is kind of in the way. It's probably right where the plug is that we need to disconnect. Okay, so it's this guy. It goes down there. Okay. Yeah, what is that? Is that a screw in there? Yep. Okay, I'm gonna have to take one more what appears to be a bolt out, I guess. Or can I get to it? I think it'd be easier to move it out of the way. Is it that one though? I think it is that one. Oh, hey, that's cool. That popped out. Nice. There we go. Okay, that's loose. But I got one more. Hopefully you guys are getting a good shot of that. I got one more of these clip things here. Just trying to find where the opening is. Okay, there we go. Okay, that wire is free. Hopefully it's the right wire. It appears to be. All right. So that's one. Now I got to repeat on the other side. I'm not going to bore you with that. This is how it goes. And you have to try to get it back kind of like that when you go back together with it. So this ought to be interesting. And I may have to unpin it before I can even pull it through the triple tree up there, the opening. So we'll see. Let's just see if the plug will go through there. It doesn't look like it's going to make it. And if it won't make it through this big hole, then I know for a fact it's not going to make it through the... Oh, it did go. Holy crap. Okay, now this is where I don't want to get lost or confused here, because this needs to go back just like that. But it has to go through these handlebars. And there's no way, I can just see it, there's no way that plug's going to go in there. I'm going to have to unpin it. So we're going to get some pictures before we go any further. And for right now, I'm just going to hook this right up here so that I hooked it on top of the handlebar there so that things don't get all confused and disorganized. But yeah, I got to repeat the process on the other side and unveil that wire harness, unclip all the clips, and disconnect the wire, pull it through, and get ready to unpin. Joy, joy. The rabbit hole keeps getting deeper. All right, I'm going to try to show you guys how to unpin these connectors here. They're called Deutsch Connectors. So some people might pronounce it Deutsch Connectors because they're kind of annoying when you get to this part, but it looks to me like there's a couple of little dents right there. Maybe I could get a screwdriver up in there and kind of pry on that a little, but I'm trying to be real careful not to break anything. But we have to remove that top part like that, and it comes out like so. Okay, maybe you can see that, but basically there's this little lever, a little door that you pull back just a little. You don't want to break it, but as you pull it back, it releases the wire out of the back. So we're just going to keep doing that all the way down. I'm kind of putting a little bit of tension on the back side. Quit that, cat. Get out of here. Okay, so that whole row is coming out. That's good. Let's be careful with them. I thought about leaving the little rubber plug on there, but then I still wouldn't be able to get it through the handlebar, so I might as well pull them all out. I made a good chart, so I should be able to put them back together. Okay, there's one side. And trying to get it where you guys can see. You can feel them as you're tugging them a little bit in the back. You can feel them let loose. So there we go. Now again, I don't want that whole thing gone, so I'm going to pull that off. Okay, now we're just going to stick it back on so that when we're ready to reassemble, we'll be ready to go. Got to do the same thing on the other side. It's going to be, just looking at it, it's going to be very similar, so I'm not going to show you guys. You can do the same thing. You pop this out, you disconnect the pins, you slip them out one at a time. Should be golden. But yeah, let's just say that escalated quickly. Earlier, or in the last video, I was saying, oh man, I don't really want to take the tank off. And yeah, there's Shop Kitty. Hey, kitty, 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 what are you doing? What are you doing, kitty? Getting up to no good, I bet. All right, we got to carry on. All right, guys, I'm going to show you a little trick here on how to get your pull line through without too much problem. We're just going to use a shop vac. Not everybody has an air compressor, so we're going to try the shop vac method. I learned this back in the beverage days years ago, so let's see if we can get this done. And I got a larger diameter string. It's like a lawnmower pull rope type, an old pull rope string. So it's going to stick that up over the hole there. And start feeding it through. And we're just like that, we're already through. So now we can grab a pick here. We'll grab a pick, we'll pull it out where we need it right here in this spot. And that should get it. So now we just have to make a connection here with our wires. And I'll tell you, the camera cut out on the first one. I was trying to record it for you guys and showing you how it pulls through there. And it is quite difficult. So we got to see how all this is going to land. We want to know exactly where to pull that through to. So that's going to end up being like that in the end. I'm just looking here. I had the same issue with the other side on the clutch cable where my cables didn't come out quite like I wanted them, but I think over here it's going to be okay. I'll just have to work it around that blinker, or maybe behind it. Maybe could it go like that instead? Yeah, that's the ticket right there. We'll go back behind and I can probably tie all those wires together in the middle there. But yeah, you just want to check your layout before you get carried away with it. What I did on the last one that seemed to help a little was I tucked some of the wires back inside like this. Hopefully you're seeing that. Just take them, tuck them back in. Not so far that you can't get them back out in the future, but enough to where they're not going to be in the end of the bundle. That way you have the best chance of getting it through the hole. And also I had to implement some lube, some dishwashing soap here, just to get it through there. And we're just going to try to make that as tapered as possible right there. Now, if you've ever done this and you have a little secret trick technique that you use, let us know down in the comments. We're all here to learn, I think. On this God's green earth, that is. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of want that knot to come out in one of these little divots here, like right there maybe, or there. That might be the best way. I don't know why that matters, but I felt wrong about it on the other rotation. So we'll go like that. Kind of wrap it around there like so. Grab our electrical tape here. It's different than electrical tape. This is just electrical tape. Probably get it over at Harbor Freight. Yeah, I was thinking the other day, man, what's going to happen now with Harbor Freight with all the tariffs and everything? How are they going to be able to sell the cheap tools and keep their customer base that they've worked so hard to build up over the years? I don't know. It's going to be interesting, that's for sure. What do you guys think? Are they going to raise all their prices up, or will they have to continue to sell cheap to keep their customer base? I don't know. We'll see. You know, now I will say this about them. Their quality has increased over the years. Since I first started going there years and years ago, back in the day, man, you didn't want to buy anything unless you were going to just use it one time. And let's see if we can get a little more, another wrap on that right there. When the very first time, like back in the late 90s, I think, when I went to a Harbor Freight, it was just garbage, man. Everything was so bad. So I will say that over the years, they have gotten better and better and better and more competitive because a lot of American manufacturers have, you know, ended up moving over there. And of course, that's one of the reasons that they're going after the tariffs, I think, is that there's a lot of intellectual theft that goes on, you know, like people over here in the United States or in the UK or whatever, they come up with an idea for a product and then China just goes and buys one, reverse engineers it, and makes it and sells it cheap at Harbor Freight or whatever. It's not cool. Okay, so just thinking this out loud here, did I do that right? Did I go the right direction? I think so. I think we're ready to try to feed this through. So after my last lesson, I learned that soap was definitely a requirement. The lube was definitely a requirement, not a choice. So I'm going to try to get you maybe right here, or you guys can see how this goes. If you've never done it before, it might be beneficial for you to know this. Okay, so we're going to grab just some regular old cheapo dishwashing soap, and we're going to put a little, mainly on the tip, but you know, you need a little on the shaft also. All right, we don't want to go crazy with it, but we want enough lube on there that hopefully it's right here where it's having the hardest time getting through. So hopefully it will go like the last one, and after about 20 minutes of pulling, I'll have it pulled through there. Let's see, let's make sure we're still recording. A while ago, it went off on me right at the key moment. We still got some battery left. Okay, let's keep going. All right, so we're gonna try to stay out of your way so you can see this. And we're gonna just pull and push at the same time. That is the key. If you just try to pull, most likely you'll end up breaking something. But if you push and pull, just push it in a little, give it a little pull, a little more, and try to be patient with it, especially when it hits this corner in a second. I had to pull back and forth a few times last time to get around that corner. Okay, keep going. Yeah, buddy. This one might not be so bad. Why do I say shit like that? I mean, almost as soon as I said it, it got like stiffer than a coffin nail. So, okay, keep pushing. That's the trouble with it. It's not a fast thing. Definitely around the bend there. I need a little something I can tighten up my grip. There we go. Let's try that. I'm trying to keep it from rubbing up against the side and ripping my cord, because that's what's happening. Oh, come on, baby. Okay, I'm worried we're fixing to lose it here. This thing's just coming apart. Oh, crap. Yep, just broke it. Oh, fuck. Okay, well, that can piss you off when that happens. Let's go find another piece of cord and try again. All right, take 473. We're going to try to use purple paracord. I'm told that the purple has extra power, so extra strength. And that's good, because we might need it. Okay, good. It went through. Okay, I tried a coat hanger. I don't know if I'll end up showing you guys that part, but that didn't work. I tried a lawnmower pull cord rope that I had laying around, an extra piece, and that didn't work. So we're going to try this purple paracord. Again, I'm told it's extra strength, so hopefully it's true. Now we got to get this big wad of tape off of here. Story of my life, wasting tape. Oh boy, it's like 2 a.m. guys. I mean, it's like 2 a.m. We're still out here in the shop working away, trying to make it to where we can ride Aurora once again. Okay. Yeah, it's got to be pretty rough right there in that little joint right there when I'm going around the corner, because that's where I'm starting to get all the resistance. The only thing I know to do is keep on trying, keep moving. It's kind of our family motto. You can also kind of keep the roll up against it like this and get a nice tight stretch on as you're going. Yeah, boy, that takes me back to the old beverage days. Struggling to get lines through a floor. Usually it was stainless steel. We'd have to push stainless steel tubing through a floor chase, and that was the hardest stuff. Because it was like, I don't know, 15, 20 strands of stainless steel. And they come off a roll, but then you have to flatten them out and then kind of straighten them out, get them all even where they'll feed together, and then tape them up. And then once you tape them all up, it's sort of like plywood. It becomes super strong. Okay, so let's make sure we're still recording. Looks like we are, so let's go for some more lube. A little more generous this time. We need all the help we can get. Hopefully, by the time it gets down to this point, some lube will be transferred over to the metal. Okay, so let's go. It's already going easier. I can tell you that. That coat hanger, while it might have been a decent idea, it didn't work out the way I thought it was gonna. Not even a little bit. My guess is we're at the problem intersection here, because all of a sudden it got hard. There we go. Sometimes it's just pulling it back a little. And then pushing it forward. Come on, baby. I don't get it. It must be tight in there, man. Hopefully I'm not tearing up my jacket on my wire. It does have that plastic cover around it, but I don't want to get into my regular wire. I'm pulling it back. All right, guys, I may just not be able to videotape this part of it, but I think you get the idea. What you're supposed to do is pull that string and feed the wire at the same time, and it's supposed to go through there. But I'm having a hell of a time, and I'm getting frustrated as hell. So I'm going to turn the camera off so I'm not sitting here wasting batteries and feeling so under pressure, and maybe then I'll be able to get it to go through. Wish me luck. And that's how it goes. 1 second after I turned the camera off, my tape started poking through right here. So I'm close. I'm really close. Okay, so now I want to pull it up from the top, just because I don't know if I'll be able to pull that wire the same way. Yeah, I got lucky. Just about broke my paracord. And this stuff's supposed to be like 540 or 440 pounds or something. I don't remember exactly, but it's supposed to be quite stout. And again, I don't think I actually broke it from pulling. I think I broke it from fraying it on the edges of this rough stuff in here. We're there, guys. We're getting there anyway. If I can get this last wad to go through, we'll be golden. Just push a little up and pull a little down. Come on now. Why that's so difficult. Yeah, we're getting somewhere at least. Oh boy. So see guys, it happens to all of us. we think we're doing a good thing, and we, you know, whatever, buy a new handlebar, you buy a new part for your motorcycle, and you think it's going to be awesome and easy, and you will go watch a couple videos, and everybody on the videos makes it look like it's super easy. So you're like, hell yeah, I can do that. And then this kind of crap happens. Happens to all of us, guys. That's the problem, is that, and see there, I just pushed a little, and boy, it just let loose and started going. Look at that. There we go. Oh my God. You talk about, that probably took me 3 hours to do that, guys. That was a pain in the butt. And I'm just talking about just this one wire. The other one actually went quite easy compared to this one. Makes me think in the inside in here, something's going on. Okay, keep on pushing, keep on pulling. Yeah, you do this kind of work, man. It makes you want to learn a couple of slave songs or something, because I tell you, this is bullshit, man. Okay, so let's see if we can figure out where that's going to work out. Probably something like that, maybe. Might have to go on the other side of the signal. Well, I don't really want it going back like that. I'd rather it go forward, so. Have to come like that, I guess. Okay, so how does that go? Like that? Okay, this is another part that's going to probably get pretty tricky, because I'm going to have to get the cable, the throttle cables, in alignment. As I put the grip on. Okay, is that far enough? Oh man, what a pain. It'll be worth it though. I'm convinced it'll still be worth it when I'm all done. If I ever get all done, that is. Let's see here. I got throttle tube. I did take the liberty of putting a little bit of, what's that stuff called? Oh goodness. My brain is not working as well anymore, because it's probably 2:30 or 3 o'clock in the morning. What is it called? Maybe if I look for it all. It's some kind of lubricant, man. I don't know what in the hell kind it is, but it's some kind. Okay, I think I remember this, and I remember thinking, man, that's going to be a pain to get that back on. I'll get you up here where you can see what we see. We're trying to get these back on, and this hopefully will be a better shot for you guys. I couldn't get you a good shot earlier because just when I was taking it apart, I couldn't get a good shot of it. So I need these little ferrule thing here, these little brass things. They go on this guy. And if I remember right, the back one was the hard. This one here, the front one actually, was harder to get to. And I'm sorry, that's the best view I can get you of the thing. Well guys, it happened again. I was recording away and pulling wires and making some good success, and I thought, man, this is going to be great. People are going to be able to see, you know, what all's involved with this job here and what all you're going to have to do. And I turned my camera screen around, and guess what? It was black. I had the battery. I guess I've got a battery that's going bad on me in my camera, so just great. I lost who knows how much footage. I won't know until I upload it. I may not even be able to make a video out of this, because if it's not, you know, what would you say? if it doesn't make sense, if it's not in order, then obviously that's not going to work. So I'm pretty tired, guys. I think I'm going to wait until tomorrow to finish this up because I'm pretty frustrated. I was able to get everything back together and get the throttle twisting. I had to move the wires back around the back though. When I had them around the front, they were in such a bind right there, the throttle wouldn't twist and wouldn't turn. So it's just been one freaking thing after another with this. But I finally have these mounted. They're tight. Now, I don't know why that's clicking all of a sudden when I pull it. So that's new. And it may be because, again, this is kind of in a bind here. It's pushed over. And I pulled it up through here thinking that that would help it. And it did help. It gave it more of a straight, you know, a nice arc. But I don't know. Maybe that's an adjustment thing. Maybe I can make a small adjustment. Because when I pull it right here a little, it's not really doing it. So I'm thinking, if I make a little clutch adjustment, it's probably just the swap in here moving around, but I don't like that. I'm going to have to fix that. It may mean that I need to get a shorter clutch cable. I don't know. I don't want to, obviously, but let me pull you around here and show you what we got, where we are. Obviously, the fuel tank is still off. I'm going to have to put all that back together tomorrow. Hopefully I remember how. I'm sure I will. I'm going to have to reattach those plugs. You see the wires hanging down there, but I at least have them going the right direction. And yeah, I think I'm going to go in and I'm going to sleep on it because if I keep on going, it's probably 3 a.m. right now. And if I keep on going, who knows what kind of mistakes I may make and I may end up regretting it. So I think I'm going to stop there, but I'm liking it. I'm liking the look. All right, we got everything run down, our wires and everything, and so it's time to start popping these back into the little plug housing here. And just looking it over again to remember, okay, that's the top. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's kind of not really that intuitive. I would have thought they would have started back over at the top, but they didn't. They went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So plug number 1 is orange with white stripe. Okay, plug number 1. We're just going to push them all the way in, and you'll feel it when it hits the end there. Okay, plug number 2 is red with white stripe. Okay, that looks good. 3 is gray. It must be this one. No stripes. Okay, yeah, I'm sure when I put that center plug in, it'll straighten all those out. Okay, next up, we've got number 4, and actually I might start with 6, just because I think it'll be a little easier to start like that and work our way down. So we'll start with 6, which is black with red stripe. So that's that guy right there. Make sure we're putting it in 6, yes. Just make sure you go all the way in, okay? Number 5 will be white with orange stripe. So that's got to be that one. It's very faint, but there is a orangish stripe on there. I thought I was all the way in, but I wasn't. What's the deal here? There we go. Okay. And just to be safe, last one is going to be number 4. And that is white with black stripe. So it looks like we did the right thing here. Hopefully all of our electricals will work exactly like they did before. Okay. So now that we know we have all of those in there, we grab our little plug cap thingamajig here, whatever you call that guy, and we're just going to look it over and make sure that there's not an up and down or a certain direction. Obviously you can't put it in like that, so it looks like it will only go in 2 different ways here, so I guess it doesn't matter. And push that all the way in, and just making sure everything's locked into position. Feels good. Now we just gotta route this over, and I guess I can go ahead and plug that in. Am I doing it wrong? Yeah, here we go. Okay, got that all plugged in. So now I'm just going to do a little cleanup here and reroute some of these wires and get them back in these clips. I'm not going to bore you with that, and we'll go over and do the other side. I'm going to get us all ready so that when we come back, we'll be ready to set the tank back on. Getting excited. All right, guys, it's time for the, I guess the final countdown, the moment of truth. Did we get everything put back together properly? I guess the final countdown will be when I hit the start button, and make sure all the electronics still work. Off camera, I had to unpin a couple of more, or actually just one more pin. It was the turn signal pin. It's called a AMP, like a multi-something AMP connector. And I had to unpin that, and man, it took me forever. And I finally figured that out and got it unpinned and everything back together safely and plugged back in. As you can see, all of our wiring is, put back the way it was, or as close as we could get it. And I had to route I kept the turn signal wires outside of the handlebars, because I think I may relocate those one of these days and put them down on the forks. So because of that, I went ahead and left the wires out. That way they'll be easy for me to get to one day if I decide to move them down. But now it's time to throw the gas tank on. I think I've got everything else done. I wiped everything down that I'm not normally able to get to. So, also off camera, I put a bunch of zip ties on just to clean and tidy everything up. And I drained this tank because, man, for one, it was heavy. It had a lot of fuel in it. And for two, I just didn't want to mess with the big spill like I had before. So hopefully we can get all this back together in a similar way that it came apart. So that goes around that area right there. Okay, I can see those wires are going to be in my way. And I've got to manipulate this fuel line underneath our frame as I go down. And also, you guys aren't going to be able to see this most likely, but there is a vacuum that I'm going to have to plug in over here. But before I go too far down, see, I almost got ahead of myself. Let's find a place where it'll rest. Will it stay there until I walk around, hopefully? Hopefully you guys will have a shot of this. Let me see here. How can I get you some more light? Maybe like that. Okay, so we've got a couple of wires under the tank to plug in here. Oh, shit. That was my plug popping off again. Okay. Just stay right there. Okay. So we've got a plug here to plug in. Done. And we've got a vacuum plug here to plug in. And done. Okay. Try to keep that crap out of the way for now. Come on now. So yeah, this whole thing has been a real struggle session for me, man. I mean, just one thing after another. I couldn't unpin the pin before I go back. I need to loop that back around. Is that how it goes, or like that? And surely we want that plug up off of the, away from the tank, or away from the cylinder head as much as possible. Maybe something like that. Yeah, but this thing, it's been a battle, man, an uphill battle for me the whole time, for a multitude of reasons. One, you're putting something on that's not a factory part. You know, that handlebar I put on was not Harley Davidson or made in the USA or even made by what I would call a good quality, reputable company. Instead, it was made in China, and I spent the better part of a night pulling those wires. I don't know how much of that I edited out of the video, but it was awful, guys. I mean, it was bad. I was getting worried that I was going to tear my wires up or something, or, you know, something was going to happen. Yeah. Oh, shit, man. I was just fixing to say, every time I get that plug or that hose almost over there to where it goes, the damn plug pops out. Oh, gotta love it. All you can do is laugh at a certain point. But yeah, it's been rough. It's been an uphill battle. I've spent the better part of 3 days working on this thing, where it was supposed to be like 1 to 2 days at most, was what I was thinking. But yeah, that didn't work out. Ended up spending almost all weekend, and I wanted to hang out with my wife and maybe go visit my daughter and stuff, but hopefully when this is all said and done, my motorcycle will be a lot more rideable, and I'll be able to go out and visit people with ease. With the greatest of ease. I'm just wiping up any gas here that I got on things. I don't know where all it spilled, but I'm sure some got on something. Okay. So, you guys can't see it, but there's a vent tube up here in the front we have to plug in. And so I'm going to slide the tank forward a little. Okay, why ain't you moving? Okay, it's going down, and again, don't forget your little gas vent here. I assume that's what that is, and make sure and get your tank all the way forward to that rubber thing. And we need to find our tank bolts. Oh boy, that seems like 100 years ago. I'm guessing that is probably this one. And she slid back a little. I can feel it. Okay. Yeah, every single thing. When I was going to put the mirrors and the clutch and the brake lever, the master cylinder and all that on, the taper starts a little bit too early on these. If they'd have kicked the taper back here a little bit further, it would have been perfect, but I wanted the grips and everything all the way on as far as I could get them, and it made it difficult. Every single thing was difficult. So did I save some money? Yeah, I sure did, but the question is, would I have been better off to go ahead and just buy like a Carlini or some other quality brand, or even Harley Davidson factory original bars? Might have been better. I don't know. Probably yes. Probably, my gut tells me yes, I would have been a lot better off if I would have went ahead and spent the extra money. So I don't know. You have to decide for yourself if you think it's worth it to save some money. Is it more important to you to save money, or is it more important to have, really easy installation? And even then, I don't know that it would have been super easy no matter what I did, because there were just some complications. Okay, now I'm just thinking about this. I'm pretty sure that's how it came out, but I kind of wonder if I don't want the chrome nut on this side versus the other side, but I guess it doesn't matter except for aesthetics and looks, but it doesn't bother me, I guess, so we'll leave that there. And we've got our washer and our chrome nut for over here. See, what I'm looking at is I can actually see more of this chrome nut. It would actually present better, I think, on this side. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. It shouldn't cause any harm. I don't think the gas tank's going to care which way the bolt's going. And it might look a little bit better. Watch all the Harley people out there be like, oh, you can't do that. That's sacrilegious. Some people, boy, they take this stuff seriously. Why ain't you coming out now? Yeah, now it wants to stay there, of course. Okay, there we go. And let's run that through this way. Yeah, I see no benefit to leaving it the other way. I guess both, it doesn't really matter. Again, I'm probably making mountains out of molehills. And I'll be honest, that's part of the reason it's taken me so long, is that, I went through and I cleaned things up and I polished things that I can't normally get to. I didn't have to do it, but I depinned that turn signal switch so that I could reroute that wire in a better way. And I'll show you that in a moment. Okay, is that a 9/16? Yep. Okay. Grab our backup wrench. Oh man, I'm so happy to see this tank going back on, because we're on the downhill slide now. I have no idea what the torque specs are on this, but I don't think I'd want it coming loose on me on the road, so pretty tight. Yeah. 1.5 grunts. That's my torque specs for this. All right. Man, yeah, I'm getting excited. It's looking so good. Looking so good. Here we go. Now we can go ahead and tighten up this rear bolt on the tank. And we're just going to make sure, yep, nothing moved. It lined up pretty nicely. I need to start thinking about a toolkit that I'm going to carry here on my Harley, just in case. And it's going to have a whole bunch of torques and other stuff like that in it. Okay, so we got that, we got that. We got the two things under the tank plugged in. I'm going to wait on the dash for a moment. Let's go ahead now, and I'm going to have to adjust the camera right quick. on you guys so we can get a really good view of this. I want to show you how we're gonna clamp this, and we're gonna try to reproduce the factory conditions there using the Oettinger style clamps. All right, guys, come on in here. I want you to see this, okay? We've got the size is 133. I don't know if that's millimeter or how they measure that. Right now, I'm just gonna pull that out of my way and out of your way. Petcock is in the off position, but I need to shove the hose back on and clamp it. Yeah, I could use a gear clamp like most people would do, and heck, I even have some used ones around the house, but man, I've got like boxes of these clamps over here on my storage shelf, so I like to use these because I know how to use them, and I know that they're a really good way of clamping something semi-permanently. Again, you can take it off. I guess the only problem I see with it is opposed to a regular gear clamp. If you had a gear clamp, you could fix that a lot easier out on the road. Unless I'm going to carry spare clamps, and I guess I could, but I'd also have to carry these with me as well, the Oettinger pliers, to be able to manipulate them and use them. I already slid my clamp on here. I chose a size 133. So now we just have to slide our fuel line back in place. Have to get that clamp out of my way so I can grip it. There we go. Okay, and now we're gonna roll our clamp around into clamping position. And we're not trying to clamp on top of the flare, on top of the barbed area where it sticks out right there at the front, at the tip. We want to clamp behind that so that the hose will seal up, have the best chance of sealing up. So grab our Oettinger pliers like this. Nice and tight, and boom, just like the factory did it. So I'm going to repeat the process on this front one. You're not going to be able to see it because it's too dark underneath there, but it's basically the same thing, except for on the front hose, it's 5/8, or no, I'm sorry, 5/16 tubing on the front crossover tube. So on that one, I'm going to have to use a size 157 clamp, but we'll pause the video here for a moment. We'll come back here in a second or two when it's time to wire up the dash. Time to throw on the last piece to the puzzle here. And I don't know what the best order to go in would be. We're just going to go as we, let's see, let me get a rag to throw that on. Here we go. I don't want to scratch up my paint after all this work. Okay, so clearly that one goes there. Just trying to get them to go the best direction where I can utilize these wire ties once I get them in position. Okay, let me try it with that hand. Listening for that satisfying click sound. And feeling like I should have moved that one on the other side of that wire. Can I do it like that? Yes. Okay, we've got the trip odometer here. Put that back in, and just while I got this opportunity, I'll clean underneath that spot there. It's hard to clean when it's together. Okay, stick that guy back in. And this was just finger tight, so I'm just going to put it back like that. But enough to where it won't rattle loose on the highway. Okay, that tucks in there nicely. I feel like I'm missing a clip here. Am I just not seeing it? There's one down here, but that's for this one. I guess not. And the ignition. Is that it? I was a little intimidated by this just because it was the first time that I've done it on a Harley. And yeah, that other wire can't go in there, so it has to go right here. And making sure that our little rubber thing here is where it's supposed to be. There we go. Get it in the place where it's going down nice and even all the way around. Oh boy, guys, a couple days ago, I didn't think I was ever going to be able to say this, but last nut. Here we go. All right. And if I remember right, that's a half inch wrench. I don't want to go crazy on that. But I don't want her to rattle loose. Well, guys, I think we did it. Let's give you a walk around. You can check it out. See what you think. Appreciate you guys watching the videos. I know some of you just watch the videos because I put them out. You don't even have a Harley or anything, and I really appreciate that sort of thing. Seriously, from the bottom of my heart, man, lots of gratitude. I know sometimes I do videos where I'm complaining about YouTube and the way they're treating me, and that is all true, but it's you guys, man, my loyal audience that watch all my videos, no matter what the content is. I really appreciate you guys, and I know a lot of you, we'd be friends in real life if we ever, maybe one day we will meet up, who knows, at the end of the world or something like that. So I'll be riding this thing. You guys will be able to recognize me fairly easily. I need to get that light off of there so you guys can get the full spectrum, the full view. I am in love. Oh man, I want to ride this thing right now, but it's like 1 a.m., so I probably won't actually ride it. But I do promise you this, before the video's over, we're firing it up because I got to know, did I make any mistakes? I know I've got a couple of things like the mirrors. I'm still going to have to come back through. I'm sorry, not the mirrors, but the turn signals. I'm going to have to come back through here and adjust those because I've just got them hand tight right now. I'm trying to find out, I want them to be spaced properly so they look even and, all that stuff. And I can see that one is a little off from what that one is. So I'm going to have to tweak on it just a little bit, but minor adjustments. If I need to pitch the grips and the clutch and the brake and all that a little bit, I can, but I think my wiring job came out pretty tidy. Pretty neat. I would have preferred if I could have left that clutch cable on the inside rather than running in between the bars like that, but it was binding up bad over here on the other side, and in the long run I may have to end up getting a little bit shorter clutch cable or just rerouting it a different way. Side profile, I think that's where it really looks the best. It just looks a little bit more aggressive. And you know, guys, I grew up, you know, reading. I mean, it was nothing for me to pick up an Easy Rider magazine on the back of the toilet or something and, you know, scroll through the pages and see some badass artwork and, you know, pictures of, you know, hot women and motorcycles back in the day when that was still allowed and all. Anyway, socially acceptable behavior back then. But anyway, this was kind of the vision I had. Long, low, lean in the back. Not too tall. I don't like the super tall. I mean, I've ridden bikes with ape hangers and they're okay, but it's just not my style. I prefer this style. So let me get set up here and we'll spin it around a little bit on the dolly and you guys can check it out for one final look, and I'll sit on it so you guys can see if there's been much difference or much change from one to the next. Honestly, it didn't change it as much as I thought it would, but it changed it in just the right ways. So hopefully that makes sense to you. Are you guys ready to witness the strength of DIY knowledge? Some of you guys will get the reference I'm making there. Others won't. That's okay. Let's check her out. Insert rock and roll music. Oh, yeah. Oh, shit. It's better than I even imagined. I mean, my God, that's awesome. Guys, I promised you when we started this whole journey that I was going to show you the before and after and what my posture is like. So let's get on with that. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh man. I like it. And another byproduct of this that I was telling my wife, I didn't even think about this, but when I had those buckhorns, they were like down here, right in this area. And the problem is that, you know, I live in a state just like you do that they don't take care of the infrastructure. The roads have gone to straight shit, man. I mean, potholes everywhere. You're always constantly, you know, ducking, weaving, hitting train tracks that, you know, send shock waves up through your spine and can cause you some serious, you know, back injury and pain. Well, one of the things I've always just been a little bit you know, on the fence about is these forward controls like this, because when you have forward controls, you can't really stand up on it. Or I couldn't before when I had the ill-fitting. They weren't really ill-fitting. What would I say? Loose, you know, worn bushings, because I was afraid to like put too much pressure on them. Maybe I could have done it on those, but with these, they're so rigid, it just inspires you to go like this. So if I have to go over a bump or hit train tracks, I can take my butt up off the seat there just for a second, and that'll keep me from, you know, getting racked and or, which happens sometimes, if you guys don't know. Sometimes if you hit some of these bumps hard enough, man, I mean, it'll knock the wind out of you and make you question everything. So, man, that's cool. So how did we start out? Something like Boom, boom, boom. So yeah, man, I am in love. This is a game changer for me. Everything looks clean. My install, my wiring, all looks acceptable and good. Again, I could have maybe got a shorter clutch cable throttle, got good response to it. Everything is better than I expected. Even my mirrors, I believe, work a little better in this configuration than they did down lower, where I was looking at my arms a lot more. With this, I can see over my arms and past my shoulders. So man, I am just digging it. It's going to take some getting used to. I'm going to have to go out and ride some twisties and see how it feels, ride around in some parking lots. But I would almost bet that I'm going to have for me personally, because of the style of riding that I've always done, I bet you that it's a lot more comfortable and familiar to me than the buckhorns. So, and you know, I told you in the last video, I think, that I wrecked a Suzuki Intruder that had buckhorns on it, and maybe I'm a little bit superstitious about those, and maybe not even rightfully so, but I just don't trust them now that I've wrecked with them. And when I came over the top of the handlebars, I mean, it messed up my fingers and lots of bad stuff. You know, it was a bad day. But anyway, guys, I appreciate you tuning in. And there's only one thing left for me to do, and that's check out and see if all my electronics still work. I hope so. God, I don't want to take that crap all back apart again, but I will if I have to. All right, so you guys can see it here with me. I have not put gas in yet, but we're going to at least ignition on. High beams are on because I was hitting buttons and stuff when I was going through there. Horn still work? Yep. Do we have left turn signal coming out of the left socket? All right, that's awesome. Do we have right turn signal? Yes, both are lighting up. We've got low beam headlight. We've got high beam headlight. We're in neutral. And we got to put it to run, and oh, she wants to run, guys. I'm ready to get out on that highway and, you know, let her eat. Yeah, the most important thing about a motorcycle is if the motor actually runs. So let's see if it starts up. I think it's going to take a few cranks because, you know, we drained the fuel out of the lines. Oh, look at that. She's ready to run. Oh, man. That is nice. Checking for fuel leaks. Nothing yet. That'll do, pig. That'll do. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Subscribe for more videos like this. I know you were on the edge of your seat the whole time wondering, am I ever going to get this damn thing back together? I was too. So, and up late many nights, but man, the payoff I think was worth it. Let me know what you guys think. Would you spend 3 days to do this, to make your bike look this much better? Do you think it looks better? Maybe you like the buckhorns better. Let me know down in the comments. I always love reading them. I better probably go ahead and shut everything down before I get the law called on me or something. My neighbors aren't used to me firing up the hog at 2 o'clock in the morning. So good night, you guys. Appreciate you tuning in. And until next time, keep the rubber side down.